guys, so I've had a few requests to talk about grocery shopping in Kigali. So what I'm going to do today is a tour de force of some of the most popular supermarkets and grocery stores that I can think of. The three big ones are Simba, Sawa Citi and Frulep. I'm also going to check out Spar for the first time because one's just opened and I've never been there. So we're going to go take a look at that. And then towards the end I'm going to talk about a couple of corner shops that are also quite popular and also an online shopping option. So if you're moving to Kigali, you need to buy some groceries. Hopefully this is going to be helpful. Hi guys, so we're starting off today at probably the easiest to find supermarket. It's Simba and it's based in Kigali Heights, which is this big shopping centre. Every taxi, every motor knows where it is. You just tell them Kigali Heights, you'll end up here, and there's a big Simba supermarket on the ground floor. So I'll go and show you what that looks like. There's also a couple of ATMs in the car park out back. So if you need cash before you go shopping, just come to the back car park and you'll find the ATMs. So there's loads of different shops on the ground floor. There's also a Forex Bureau for money exchange and Vine Pharmacy, which is one of the better known pharmacies in Kigali. So it's a little bit of a shopping arcade, a little bit of a shopping mall. If you head upstairs, there's lots of restaurants, but we'll do that another day. Today we are here for groceries. So it's probably got the most well-stocked aisles of snacks, pasta, you name it. And also if you make your way towards the back of the supermarket, you'll find quite a few goods like washing machines and exercise equipment. So you've got some washing machines here starting at 270,000 francs, larger ones for 500,000. Large freezers, cookers, something to take your frustration out on if you can't find what you need. General kitchenware, blenders, kettles, toasty makers, quite useful. Cookware, kitchenware, all the usual stuff. Impressive selection of Tupperware. Vast quantity of toothpaste. Bathroom goods, so body cream, shampoo, sometimes conditioner. And one of my favourite aisles, pet food. We've got wet and dry dog food and cat food. But not a lot of it, only half an aisle. And the rest is children's toys. So yes, not a huge variety, but there is some. It's always worth checking here if your usual supplier is out. At the moment they only seem to have dog food. Usually it's dog and cat food, but at the moment it's only dog food. So yeah, those are all of the aisles on the right as you come through into the supermarket. But then on the left we've got fruit and vegetables. This is quite common, that there's very limited supply of fresh fruit and vegetables, but it's quite nicely laid out here. So yeah, you've got some variety. And they've also got quite a nice meat section as well. It's always very clean here, very well kind of laid out. And at the other end we've got bread. So here we've got bread and baked goods. And you can choose your bread and usually have it sliced. So when you buy your bread, you're usually asked, do you want it sliced? And if you do, there's a little machine over there where they slice it. And that's quite standard in all supermarkets. And then the other nice thing about Simba is that there's a really impressive alcohol aisle. You can find a lot of things here. And if you can't find them here, you can find them in Wine and More, which we went to a moment ago. So yeah, it's quite an impressive selection. So yeah, Simba Kigali Heights is probably the largest, best stocked supermarket I can think of. So yes, I'm just going to pick up some shampoos so that I have bought something today. I think it's only fair, otherwise they look a bit weird wandering around filming supermarkets. But yeah. So this one is Simba Gushu, which is a really famous kind of Simba because it's got a food court and somewhere to shop. Again, it's quite easy. If you say Simba Gushu, everybody will know where that is and they can come here. But it's best to come here by public transport because the parking is limited and pretty dodgy, so not an easy one. You can walk here easily. Okay, so this Simba is pretty similar to the first Simba. It's a little bit smaller, I'd say. Doesn't feel as light and airy, but still pretty much the same products. So, you know, rice and grains, coffee, tea, meat, baked goods, I think. So again, you've got the kitchen section here. Not as much Tupperware, but frying pans, things like that. Got the butchery again, so same meat products. And lots of local dried sausages, which are quite good with pasta sauce. So again, there's quite a minimal sort of fruit and veg section. There are some things here. Oranges are quite a new addition, so are apples. They've only really come in the past few years. And so are yellow lemons, because these are local lemons, the green ones, and the international yellow ones are quite new to the market. But plenty of potatoes and tomatoes and onions, which are really staple. There's also quite a lot of cheese, because most people don't realise, but Rwanda is really well known for Gouda cheese. So these types of cheeses are actually made in Rwanda. And in recent years, more artisanal cheeses like blue cheeses and goat cheese are now available. Butter is still quite hard to come by and is often really expensive. And the cheapest stuff is often questionable quality, but it is available. Quite a nice selection of ice cream as well. In fact, an entire freezer full of it. And again, the reason that we like Simba is the extensive alcohol selection. Definitely somewhere to come to find staple bottles and sometimes more unusual offerings. And we've also got a bit of a pet care section here as well, and a few bits and pieces that are non-food related, some microwaves, but not quite as many items, I think, as the one in Kigali Heights, but close. I mean, it's definitely very well stocked. Aha, got some cat food here. I think I might have to get some of that. And shopping wouldn't be complete without a massive toss. It's hilarious. I don't know who decided to name these things. I always really like looking through the bar soaps. This one here is really, really nice. It's made in Rwanda and it's a lavender soap, usually between 850 and 1,000 francs. It's really nice. Yeah, you get some really interesting mixes like coffee and aloe vera. So I'm sort of slowly working my way through every type of soap in the supermarket. I'm in search of baked beans, but there appears to be a shortage of baked beans at the moment, so I can't see any. So it's a bit difficult to show you inside, but one of the reasons that people like it here is because there is a cafe that you can actually go and eat at. So yeah, if you're hungry, you can come here and there's like just a little food court place to eat. It's mostly burgers, chips, that kind of thing, but it's a good place to come. Alright, Right guys, so our first lot of Simba. This one is Sawa Citi. I quite like Sawa Citi because you often find some really unique British products here, like gold bars and club biscuits that you never find anywhere else. It all depends on what season it is as to what's available. This is the smallest one. This is up in Kisimenti. We're very close to Shelando. We're just off the Shelando roundabout here. So we're going to go into the small one first, and then we're going to go down towards town, and I'll take you to the big one, which is more like a Simba. So not quite as an impressive alcohol aisle, but definitely not a bad one. Got a lot of wine over here as well. So actually, you know what? The booze aisle has got a lot better in recent years. There's a lot more on offer. And we've got cereals and things like that. Some dishes and bits and pieces. Yeah, it's definitely a much smaller shop than Simba, but it has got pretty much everything that you'd need. But the thing that Sawa Citi is really famous for is the bread. So basically, they teamed up with a company called Brood. They do this incredible bread here. So the cornbread is outstanding. They've got the whole wheat, the spelt loaf. The bread from Brood is pretty much acknowledged to be the best bread in Kigali, and you get it at Sawa Citi. Also quite a lot of baked goods like pound cakes and snacks if you want them. And like the first Simba that we went to, it's really nicely laid out. A slightly better vegetable selection. And yogurt. And again, the Rwandan Gouda, which is very famous. This is what I mean though about the British bent, because this Rubicon is very popular in fish and chip shops in the UK, and I've not seen it elsewhere, so I'm going to get a few of these. The mango, the passion fruit one's outstanding. I've never seen the lychee one or the guava, so I think I'm going to get one of everything. This is definitely my happy place. Definitely the biscuit aisle is where they shine, so lots of Cadbury's products. I'm not seeing any specialist British biscuits at the moment, but if they ever come here, this is where you find them. Like I say, I found gold bars here once and I'm still in shock. Okay, this is the important thing to know. They've got proper digestive biscuits and hobnobs here. So you're looking for McVitie's. And most of the shops that you go to, they have an Indian variety called, I think it's manje or something like that. And the logo looks just like McVitie's, and the biscuits are styled like McVitie's, but they are not. They taste absolutely dreadful by comparison. So although it is insanely expensive, I would never buy biscuits for 9,500, but if you are craving proper hobnobs, then Sawa Citi is the place to go. But it is known to be a really expensive shop. So yeah, again, it looks pretty much like any standard shop you can imagine. Here we go. These are the ones I was talking about. Yeah, mangy. Avoid mangy biscuits. They are mangy. I don't mean to be awful about them, but they just generally taste a bit stale. And they've been fashioned after really famous biscuit brands, but they don't taste anything like it. So this is what I mean about the pricing. So that Bounty is 2,500, but when I buy them online through Tuma, that's 1,000 cheaper online. So the markup at Sawa Citi is always a lot more. So you tend to come here if you can't find what you're looking for anywhere else, but the quality does tend to be pretty good. If you're looking for them, you can also find condoms and cigarettes in Tori's most famous Rwandan brand. So here we've actually got some prepared fruit, which is pretty cool. And a big fruit and veg section. Again, a pretty good butchery. Fresh meat, but also cured meat. So a lot of types of yogurt here that you wouldn't find in other shops. Like they've got a coconut non-dairy yogurt, and they've got blueberry, raspberry. So we've got some specialty items like Edam and brie. Pretty expensive, although the price of that brie has come down tremendously. I think it used to be about 15,000. So very well stocked freezer section. And again, lots of alcohol. Rwanda has a long-running love affair with Jameson's. I think for many, many years it was the only affordable whiskey that you could find. Well, affordable and drinkable. So it's always had a very big place in Rwandan hearts, which isn't bad. I mean, I do like a bit of Jameson's myself. They do have a lot more now, a lot of others. So yeah, it's quite an impressive array of fruits, vegetables, drinks. And I really like this, is you've got legumes and peas and beans and things that I think you can put in your own container, I'm not entirely sure, to reduce waste. But it just looks really pretty. They've got a bit of a homeware section now as well, which is quite nice. So some cookware, some bowls. I think these are ceramic. Oh no, they're plastic. They are plastic. I'm actually a huge fan of plastic kitchenware because I do tend to drop things a lot. So over the years, all of my ceramics have been replaced over and over again, but I still have plastic plates that I've had for 10 years now. Haven't managed to completely destroy. So yeah, all the normal stuff, bathroom stuff, tinned goods and food. It always feels very well curated here. Like things are nicely laid out. Again, a small pet food area. This is really interesting because the cat food's got Spar written on it. And I thought that the Spar that's just opened in Kigali was owned by the same people who own Simba. Maybe it's Sawa Citi, maybe I got that wrong. Again, you've got the brood here. You've got a much larger one here than you did at the one in Kisimenti. But the same things, the same goods. And if you don't have time to wait for people to cut the bread, you can pick up ready-made slices. Just walk in and pick one up. Oh, these sandwiches look good. Nuts. Oh, this is fantastic. You can see here, these cupcakes are made by a bakery in Kigali Heights called Slices and Cakes. We just call it Slices for short, but they make the most wonderful cupcakes. Oh, damn it, we've got Haribo. I don't think I can help myself. It's always hilarious though, because you always have the original price still on the packaging. That says £1. Which I guess is about 2,500 francs, but it's selling for 5,000. Like when you can see how much things have been marked up by. But then they've got to get them here over the sea and then over the land, like a long way over the land, because we're very landlocked in Central Africa. And so it costs more to get stuff here by freight, by lorry, than it does to get things to the port from, say, you know, Europe or the US. So that's why everything is so incredibly expensive. I mean, look at this, £1.25 selling for 6,000 francs. It just makes you cringe. I think taxes have a lot to do with it as well, though. But I mean, when you're desperate, because there isn't anywhere else selling this stuff, what are you going to do? Oh, come on, it's August and they're already advertising Christmas. I saw somebody advertising a Christmas market on the expat forums today. I mean, are you insane? We haven't even got through Halloween yet. Hooray! My search for baked beans has been rewarded. take a couple of tins. So I was going to stop off for an iced latte, but they don't have any ice at the moment. But it is quite a nice place to sit. They've extended it. It used to be that you could only sit here, but they've extended it to a really nice little area. Well, a lot of traffic going past, but if you need to eat something, drink something after you go shopping, you can come here. I haven't seen this before. Even Frulep's got a little cafe. Doesn't seem to be much in it at the moment. So yes, this is Frulep. It's not as well known as the others, but it is worth knowing about. And there's two parts to it. So we'll go into the fruit and veg area first. So yes, Frulep is really well known for having quite a good stock of fruit and veg that you wouldn't usually see. Like actually I don't know what that is. I was going to say a prickly pear or something like that, but no. It smells wonderful in here. Giant papaya or pawpaw. They're absolutely huge. Sorry, I shouldn't just touch them, but you can't help it. They look amazing. Pineapples smell fantastic. If I've got enough room, I might get a pineapple. Maracuja, so the passion fruit. And then there's a whole other side with avocados and cabbage, broccoli. But as with the others, there is also quite a lot of empty space as well, waiting for deliveries. Plenty of eggs and honey, dates, and also, as with the other supermarkets, they've got a meat section. There's a little bit less in there than there are in the other ones. One thing I always like about Frulep is they've got a really pretty mural on the wall. Quite nice to look at whilst you're doing your shopping. Peas. These are called amashaza in Kinyarwanda. I always remember that because it sounds very cool. Amashaza. And the beans. And yeah. These are local aubergines and they're very, very bitter, but they prepare them in a stew. So yes, if you see these and you're not sure what they are, you can eat them, but they take a lot of preparation and yeah, they can be quite bitter. Got a few different herbs here. Something that's always very interesting in Rwanda is that in Rwanda you always buy the celery leaves. So if you order celery, you get celery leaves. Whereas in the UK, if you order celery, you get the celery stalk. So this stalk is really, really big and we eat it with dips, but we don't tend to eat the leaves. Whereas here you eat the leaves, but you don't tend to eat the stalk. It's interesting. And there's also quite a large freezer section as well. So this is for meat. So when you've finished with your fruit and vegetables, you can come back through here and into the main shop. So again, Frulep tends to have a lot of European specialty items, like I think they've got calamari over here and salmon. So it's expensive. That salmon says 65,000 francs. But again, you're not going to find it in very many places. So that's the price to pay, really. So again, quite an impressive booze aisle on the right. But not so much on the shelves. I haven't been here for a very, very long time. And I have to admit, it's looking a little bit low on stock from what I remember. but I don't know. They've got a little room at the back with kitchen items. So, oh, these are nice. Get a Gitenge apron for the kitchen. It's like a children's size, I think. Children's aprons. So you've got glassware. You've got some very posh glassware. And is that like a pastrami cutter or something for cured meat? I don't know. Right next to the vacuum cleaners. And yeah, got some cups, kitchenware. Again, it's looking quite sparsely stocked. But like I say, I haven't been here for a very, very long time. But not terribly inspiring. Cat food seems to be the same price as it was at Simba. Oh no, this is my weakness. I love Ovaltine. I do love Ovaltine, but I just can't quite justify 11,500 francs for it. Oh, it's difficult. I do love it. See, this is the thing about Frulep. Quinoa. I don't know anywhere else in the city you're going to find that. It just has some very strange things occasionally. Strange as in good. Anything that is different is good, because often it's quite hard to find novel things for sale. So when you get different flavours, textures, it's nice to have variety. Hi guys, editing me jumping in real quick. If you do go shopping at Frulep, when you buy your fruit and veg, pay for that over that side. When you shop in the main shop, pay for that stuff over that side. But you need to know they've got a slightly peculiar checkout system. So when you go to check out, you'll see two checkout desks. There's usually two women on either side of Frulep, and you need to go up to the first desk and they will handwrite you a receipt for what you're buying, and then you take that and you go to the second desk to pay for everything. So go up to the first desk, get your handwritten receipt, go to the second desk and pay for it, and you're done. It's a bit of a weird one. If you don't know that's what you need to do, you can get a little confused, but that's what you need to do. Okay guys, so that's Simba, Sawa Citi and Frulep done. That's all of the ones that I ever used to go shopping at. So the next one that we're going to go and try out is Spar. And I haven't actually been to that one yet. So I need to put it into my map, because I think it's in Rwanda, so it should be on the way home. And I'm quite excited to go and see what they've got there. Because I think it's probably the first European brand supermarket that we've ever had here. So I'm expecting good things. Let's go and see. Well, that was a ride and a half. Let me unpack my panniers and get all my goodies inside. Okay, so we've done 5 supermarkets today, 2 Sawa Citi, 2 Simba and 1 Frulep. And I tried my damnedest to go to Spar, but my goodness. I drove past it because there was no sign. I was like looking for it. There's no sign on the entrance. There's only one little strip sign on the front of the building. And as you drive past it, it really isn't obvious where you're supposed to park. So I don't know what the parking's like there, but I do know where it is now. And I think I will probably try and go back there at the end of this video, but not today, because as I was driving, the wind was kicking up. and the sky at the moment. My phone is telling me it's going to rain, so I'm going to take all my goodies inside, probably have a can of Rubicon, and contemplate my life choices. Alright, so I finally made it to Spar. I'm voicing over this one because there was a lot of copyright music going on and a lot more people there than the other supermarkets, so I felt a bit weird wandering around talking to my phone. They have quite an extensive kitchenware section. I was on the lookout for an air fryer, but I did find this bread maker. Pretty cool. We've got Brood and the German butchery, and if you're thinking this looks a lot like Sawa Citi, it's because it's owned by the same people. The pet section was nicely laid out, and I even found this pet carrier shaped like a fire engine. I then proceeded to the cereal aisle, where I found a £3.25 box of cereal being sold for almost 20,000 francs. Definitely run by the Sawa Citi group. There was some much cheaper cereal right next to it though. It's definitely a large store and nicely laid out. There's a good fruit and veg section where I spotted grapes and even some fresh strawberries. Couldn't resist picking up some of those. I ended up in the cheese section where I found mozzarella and cheddar. Just a word of warning though, cheddar made in Rwanda is basically orange Gouda. Same texture, often a similar taste. It does tend to melt a little better than normal Gouda, but it definitely isn't what most people think of when they think of cheddar. Random, but I do actually have a video of driving through Cheddar Gorge in the UK, where cheddar originally comes from. I do find some of the pricing decisions a little bit odd here. Like plain shortbread is more expensive than chocolate shortbread. Not sure how that works. That's a fairly comprehensive overview of the big brand grocery stores in Kigali. They do have other outlets, like I think that there's a Simba in Kimironko, and there is definitely a Sawa Citi in Ribeiro. So if you type in the name of the grocery store into Google Maps, it will show you where your nearest one is. Now, I know I did say that I would cover online grocery shopping, but this video is already getting a little bit long, so I will devote a whole other video to online grocery shopping. But just before we go, I'm going to give an honourable mention to a couple of other shops that a lot of people use. First up, there's a great big supermarket in the centre of town. If you look it up on Google, it's just called 2000, but everybody calls it T2000 because originally that's what it was called and then it changed its name, but T2000 stuck. So if you're English, T2000, or in French, Thé du Mille. Everybody knows this shop. It's a huge Chinese supermarket and you can get so many things there. Kitchenware, it's known for its sea of plastic buckets. There's so much stuff there. I've done another video about that. And also in that video, I cover an Indian supermarket called Sharma's, which is also a great place to go and buy herbs, spices, find one or two little things that you wouldn't find anywhere else. And the third honourable mention is going to go out to Patel's. So in Kimihurura, there's quite a famous bar there called Sundowners. If you find Sundowners and you just carry on down the cobbled road, you'll see Patel on the left. And again, it's an Indian run supermarket. What you probably call in the UK a corner shop, but a big corner shop. And there are so many delightful things in there that you cannot find in the main supermarket. So highly recommend checking them out. But they are a little bit more on the pricey side, but absolutely worth it. If you're looking for a change of flavour or to try something different, they've usually got something to scratch that itch. So I hope that this has been really helpful. Let me know which of the supermarkets you generally use. Like I say, I tend to find that Sawa Citi and I guess Spar tend to be a little bit more on the pricey side. Simba tends to be a little bit more competitive on price. Things fluctuate a lot depending on how available they are. I would also just mention that as a motorbike, I did not get charged for parking at any of these places except for Sawa Citi in Romero or Kisamente, where the security guard for that area came over and he charged me 500 francs for parking there for about 10 minutes. Which is kind of excessive. It's usually about 100, sometimes 200 francs in Kigali. But he kept pointing at my panniers and suggesting that the extra was for protecting my luggage, not that there was anything in there worth stealing. But you know, okay. And I would say about all of these places that parking does tend to be quite minimal. A lot of these buildings go up without a lot of thought given to where cars are actually going to park. So usually there's maybe about 10 car parking spaces, maybe a few more, but it's a good idea to go during times of low traffic because otherwise you might find it tough to pull up there. But let me know which of these supermarkets you use, which ones you prefer and why, and also let me know if I've forgotten to mention or honourably mention any other really good shops in the comments below. See you in the next one.